Hello. Hi, everybody. Let me get us up here on the big screen as well while we're getting officially signed in here and sorted with one another. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's an absolute pleasure. Hello. There we go. It's an absolute pleasure to see you guys, be back with you guys. We had a week off and oh my goodness, there was a lot going on in Arizona. I want to tell you to all of my Arizona friends, oh, Arizona beat me up for about 4 days with all of that dry heat. So I just want to share that experience with you, but I was able to come back around. But your state was lovely. Thank you for having me. Once we got sorted and we got on the same footing, it was a very good experience, and I will be posting more about that a little bit later. But if you are new to this channel or you are coming back around, what we're actually jumping into today, this is your weekly astrological forecast for the week of May 9th, 2022, where this is a busy week. Energetically, cosmically, this is a busy week. Just alone on the 10th, we're going to have the experience of having not only Mercury going retrograde, stepping it into its official retrograde space, but also Jupiter's moving into the energy of Aries. And not only that, when we're looking at this Mercury retrograde, that's going to take us backwards in the energy of Gemini and then push us back into this Taurian space again. It is all square the moon. So we've got outer planets taking their retrogrades, as well as an inner planet taking its retrograde in square to the moon. So we definitely have some things on our hearts that we're going to be rethinking, or that are probably already hashing themselves back up as we've been moving through this. And as we close out this week and get ready for what's next, we are also going to have the full moon lunar eclipse in the energy of Scorpio right there in conjunction with the south node. It is an indicator to each of us that there is a release. There is a release. There is a shedding. There is a letting go of something over this next 6 months. So happy to jump in here with you guys, see what's going on in the sky. Please let me know in the comment section how you're doing. Hopefully you're doing well. And let me not pass on saying happy Mother's Day as well. And I say this every year, regardless of the status or the nature of your relationship with your mother. I'm going to tell you, I'm really grateful that she got you here some way, somehow, and we get to gather together to do some astrology and be with one another, grow our consciousness, and try and step out in this world and be a little bit less of a turd than like maybe we would have been if we weren't coming together. So happy Mother's Day to the moms out there. And hopefully you guys can hear me. Please let me know in the chat if you cannot hear me, because I'm watching you guys, but I also want to keep going here. All right, so let's jump in. I've got my calendar over here. So right as we are coming into this week on the 9th, the energy is already boiling, okay? It's already in motion, it's moving. We're coming off of on Saturday, a really nice actually interaction between the sun and Mars being in a sextile. So the sun in the energy of Taurus, Mars in the energy of Pisces, as these two came together. It was really kind of a take action, go on an adventure kind of energy that became available to us. So we are pulling into this week on that, but also we've got planets ready to take their stations. So the 10th, which is the one, if you listen to your monthly horoscope, right? I asked you to put a big old circle around the 10th, because the 10th, we've got Mercury stepping into its retrograde, square the moon in the energy of Gemini. And then we're also going to have Jupiter launching forward into that energy of Aries, which is already a fire and a cardinal energy. So we have a start forward and also a pull backwards. So let's dig into those just a little bit. Okay. So Mercury retrograde first. Mercury is going retrograde. It is beginning its retrograde in the energy of Gemini. So as we are beginning this retrograde, first of all, in the energy of Gemini, it is comfortable, it is at home, it is in domicile. So this is one of the retrogrades that I tend to feel is a lot more powerful. When a planet goes retrograde in its sign of domicile or exaltation, I think that we really can feel that energy because it's working in peace, it's working in power, it's working in efficiency, okay? So in the energy of Gemini, we're going to go back over our communications. We're going to go back over our thinking. We're going to go over practical things, deals, negotiations, but there's so much that I would love for you to focus in on, understanding that you're going back over thoughts. You maybe even are going back over desires that you had to learn something earlier in your life or something like that. These can be things that are very, very vibrant in their theme that is presenting, especially because Mercury is squaring that moon in another mercurial energy in Virgo. So was I not perfect enough? Did I waste an opportunity? I want or I need to learn this particular thing or subject. Maybe subjects or ideas that you're feeling like you want to help bring service and change to, right? It's really very much so when we're talking about Mercury square the moon, it's this, I don't love the word battle necessarily here, but it kind of is. It's the battle of the head and the heart, right? Like what makes me feel like I'm of service and I'm full and I'm useful and I'm bringing the very best, right? Versus my thinking. And sometimes what this looks like when I talk through this with clients is this idea that I think somehow if I would have done something different in my past, it would be better now. I would be better now, right? So if this is something that is coming up for you in this heart space kind of way, I want you to know that this makes a lot of sense. We are really in the battle of head and heart, but it's in the Mercury retrograde sense to go back over it, review it. What did you think about it then? What details could you not have even grasped or thought to access at that time that today you know how to speak up, you know how to speak to that, you know how to communicate with your siblings better. Now, in a very practical way, because God bless me, I am a Taurus, right? I also think maybe you do have siblings in your life. You have contracts. You are trying to buy something, sell something, learn something, maybe teach a course, buy a course, fix your website. You know, is there a conversation flat out or a trip that you're going to be taking short distance back to something else in your life? But certainly this is the opportunity for communication of head and heart to reconnect us to the past in some way. Now, I want to go over the dates and the movement of this so you have an idea. Now, from April 26th all the way until May 10th, we have been watching Mercury in its pre-retrograde shadow time. So where Mercury was slowing down, getting ready, it started to stimulate the lessons. What am I doing? What am I going on? What am I going over? So on April 26th, when Mercury got to 26 degrees of Taurus, okay, we started to slow down there and you start to get the feel for exactly where you need to focus in on your chart to see what the lessons are. So April 26th to May 10th, we've had Mercury in pre-retrograde shadow time slowing down. Now from May 10th until June 3rd, we're going to see Mercury take that retrograde. It comes into its retrograde at 4 degrees of Gemini. Okay. So what I want you to hear and take from me right now is grab your chart and focus in on what was happening between 26 degrees of Taurus and 4 degrees of Gemini, because as we're doing this retrograde work here, this is exactly what is being called back to your table for you to review. So work smarter, not harder. Get between 26 Taurus and 4 degrees of Gemini and look at what's going on. What are you reviewing? What's coming back to your table? What's lifting in your heart and it's rising to the surface? Even if it's just pure excitement that you're going back to reconnect with something, look for those particular degrees, okay? So we'll see Mercury take that retrograde May 10th to June 3rd from 4 degrees of Gemini, moving all the way back to June 3rd to 26 degrees of Taurus. And then we will see Mercury do post-retrograde shadow time from June 3rd to June 18th, where it will go back from 26 degrees of Taurus to 4 degrees of Gemini, and then we will release and move fully forward. So you've had a long cycle to be looking at what is Mercury bringing my attention to? What do I need to think? So please note that in your chart. If you don't have a chart or you're not sure yet how to locate those degrees in your chart, click in my description box down below. I've got a video to show you how to find the active transits and also where you can get a chart from me or go pull a free one. I'm not attached to how you get it, but get it so you know your information, okay? Ooh, so that is so much. And that is just one event for the day. Oh, let me share this as well, because I keep getting asked this. If you have Mercury retrograde natally in your birth chart, in a progressed chart, something like that, right? In any chart you're choosing to look at, if your Mercury is retrograde natally, for sure though, Mercury retrograde in transit may not feel like this huge going into you. It can actually feel like a coming out, like the universe is calling you out. Like, hey, you've had all this time to be thinking about that. Now let's talk about that out here with some people, which how nice, because you essentially, you Mercury retrograders natally have a captive audience, right? Because the rest of us have to shut up and go in. And now the universe is calling you out. So you have a great open stage to talk about, think about, be about what you need to think about, talk about, be about. So if you do have Mercury retrograde, it may be more of a calling out to you than necessarily a calling in. Okay. All right. Now we're going to move later in that day, the same day, to Jupiter jumping into the energy of Aries. All right. So between May 10th and October 28th, we're going to see the preview. This is our preview, okay, of Jupiter in the energy of Aries. So where is this on your chart? Where is 0 degrees of Aries on your chart? Look at that for you, because this is the area that's coming for expansion. You know, we experienced Jupiter in that energy of Pisces, which was a return to Jupiter in a sign of domicile as well. Very comfortable in rulership over there. And these ideas about, you know, connecting to my idealism, connecting to there is a way for all of this to work out. There is protection, there is guidance, there is flow, there is this resetting of ideals that becomes available. And I think Jupiter and Pisces for me, that I saw for myself and for many people, is also, I do feel like that was a call back home. Like, you know, instead of who I've been living as or bringing out for a very long time, when I get quiet, put my hand on my heart and sit with the divine flow, who and what am I? And what do I really, at that shed from my body, just soul level, what do I have to offer this planet? And can I go out there and get ready to do that? But the ready to do that is Jupiter and Aries, because Jupiter and Aries is not about thinking about it anymore. It's time to take some action, cardinal action. You have thought, you have felt, you have breathed, you have gathered wisdom. Whether you're in a wisdom phase right now or you're in a peace phase where you're like, okay, I need to assimilate, whatever it is, each of us have had that stage where now we have already been through that, and it is time to come on out here and expand, to start making our way, to start putting myself out there, to start putting my Aries energy. And I'm not doing it. You guys know I talk about Aries as it's this fire energy, and it's the one that gets the rocket into space, right? Like you can't have a little putsy fire. Okay, Jupiter and Aries not doing a little putsy fire, because then your rocket's going to go, boop, right? And that is sad. Nobody wants that, especially if you built a big, expensive rocket. You need Aries power to get under that and lift that thing off the ground into where it needs to go next. You need that fire. So Jupiter in Aries is like magnetizing that. Here's your fire energy to get you off the ground. So here is a beginning, Aries, cardinal, initiative, energy for your fresh start, for your new exchange of energy in your life. Like, it's exciting, right? It is exciting. It's Jupiter moving us to the next possibility of what our actions can actually bring into our life, into our community. Remember, Jupiter is one of our not so personal planets, right? So it's a little bit further out. So this is not just for you and for me. It's a we. It's in a single energy, but this is a we energy. But it is, what does the me add to the we? What does the me add to my life, right? These are very big concepts when we're dealing with Jupiterian energy. Okay. Now, the other thing I have really been contemplating, I had a lot of time with my downtime in Arizona because Arizona beat me up. I had time to consider, that this is also, how do I powerfully, profoundly, and I think really unapologetically as well, attract into my life the enthusiasm that I want, the experiences I would like to have here. How do I, because Jupiter is magnetic, it's grandiose, it is attracting, and it can be benefic, right? But it's sometimes that benefit can look a couple of different ways, right? like what's the benefit of this? Oh, I'll have wisdom. Well, sometimes to gain wisdom, you got to go through a bunch of stuff, right? But certainly with Jupiter and Aries, whatever stuff is going to be coming, it is about you taking action to get it there. But how do I powerfully bring blessings and allow them create spaces to attract them into my life? So I think that Jupiter and Aries has a real opportunity to be incredibly profound for all of us. And I do wonder, let me know this in the comment section down below if this is a vibration that's coming in for you too. But I feel like more and more every single day, as this Jupiter and Pisces energy is starting to wane down, that I feel solid in who I am and my ability to, Jupiter, go out and offer something to the world, offer something to my family, offer different wisdom and perspective from what I have survived and experienced into even my little community and into my own spiritual space, right? I teach that Jupiter in the birth chart we're gifted with some wisdom and some skill there, but we have to take it out into the world and give it away if we're going to keep it. So, is that an experience that you guys are having? Do you feel like there's a different, like you got your inner ram, that inner Aries is ready to go. It's ready out there. It's like, I know what I'm doing and I have this to offer, so I would love to know if any of you are having that experience as well. I also have Uranus on my sun. So I'm feeling like a lot over here. So I hope that some of you are having that experience as well. All right, now we're going to fast forward because that is so much. On the 10th, it's very energetically busy. Please hydrate. Please make sure you're resting, enjoy, and welcome in this powerful energy that is available to us. But let's also remember that in that, we are vibrating up to this eclipse that's happening in Scorpio. So this is a full moon lunar eclipse. So still our eclipse, or still our eclipse for the month, still our full moon for the month. My goodness, that is what I'm trying to say. Now, depending on where you live too, this could be hitting you on the 15th or the 16th. So just depending on where you are in the world, we're looking for the moon to get to 25 degrees of Scorpio. And that's where we're going to be having this eclipsing energy. Okay. Now, as this eclipse is happening, it's still the full moon. So we're going to end something, acknowledge something, make an adjustment. And it's all of the light in the sky is available, right? Like we're turned in, we're turned on, we're emotionally aware. This is a powerfully, vulnerably deep and passionate water sign. So emotionally, we know what is up. And if you don't know what's up and what's been stirring down here, I think that we become acutely aware, right? We become acutely aware. So please, first and foremost, identify 25 degrees of Scorpio on your chart. What is that? Where is it at? What house is it lighting up for you? What is it connected to in your chart? Whatever that looks like, that is what we're looking for. Now, as we jump in and we get into this, because this eclipse is also in conjunction with the South Node, there is a sense of pulling out, right? Like flushing out, like flushing away. It can feel really dramatic. It can feel really intense. This is not a time that I think we are going to be able to, over this next 6 months, say, oh, nothing in my life changed from that particular eclipse, right? This is really this wave of, I think, release. We had some requests for a beginning at the Taurus solar eclipse. I would like to begin this. I would like to allow this to take shape in my material world, in my worth, in my value sectors. But at this eclipse, it's like you have to get rid of this. You have to release this if any of that is going to grow. you've got this, or there's a power struggle here. So we need to surrender the power struggle, surrender the manipulation, surrender the fight, do the healing. That's right. Let that poop go, right? Let it go in order to move forward. Now, what I think is divine also about this Scorpio energy and having the South Node there is that it makes it easier or more apparent that this is a behavior, action, attitude, person, belief structure that is holding me back from where I want to go, from what I would like to be experiencing. Now, this can be a very cathartic experience. This can be a very cathartic experience. Now, at this particular moon, there are also some helpers. Okay, there are some helpers on the stage. We've got, looks like a really nice sextile and some trines. Pluto gets involved with that. Pluto is already retrograde. So Pluto is also helping in a state of surrendering things, bringing the destruction to structures, values, ideas of tradition, ideas of gender, traditional gender roles or beliefs around in society. Like there's a shedding that becomes available here. And it also looks like we've got Mars. Yeah, Mars and Neptune dancing here in Pisces. This is really nice because that's an energy that can tend to make us feel like we are spiritually supported, right? You know, I tell you, Mars in Pisces is a lot like water aerobics. You are running your butt off, but you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. But when we drop that down to the spiritual action of release, transition, assimilation, when we drop that down to I'm actually healing spiritually, and that will allow the rest to come into alignment, because this idea that I'm going to somehow figure out my money and then get spiritually fit, no, out of alignment. We can't even work with that vibration. I'm going to get my relationship right, and then I'll be spiritually fit. I'm going to lose the weight, and then I'll get spiritually fit. I'm going to this, I'm going to this, I'm going to this. If the arrangement is I'm going to do this, then get spiritually fit, no. We straighten out spiritually. We come into the vibration of the spirituality, and then we straighten out financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, any of those kinds of things become available, but we do it spiritually first. So I really want to celebrate the Mars, Neptune, Pisces energy, because it really is, it might feel like water aerobics, you guys, and I'm telling you, it's kind of cathartic. It really is, but you are changing. You are changing, and allow those aspects to be gentle guides to remind you that you are cosmically, energetically supported in the change. And your ideals may be really different at this time, and they are likely supported. Now, on another level, I want to talk about this too really quickly, because it is Scorpio Taurus axis energy. This is an axis of the body and pleasure. And Taurus is about that pleasure principle. You know, it is a deeply delicious kind of energy. And Scorpio energy on the other side is looking for some passion and some sexy, right? So if this is an energy where you've even been struggling in your own physical body, you've been eating weird, you know, because let me tell you, during Taurus season, which has been like, what, 2 weeks, I have been making some nutritional decisions that do not support my hot girl summer body. So I got to rein that in, right? But if you've been having the power struggle in your physical form, if you've been having that power struggle with your sexual energy, which I'm not saying sex, if it translates to sex for you, fine. You know, have you been in chaos or in grief or in misunderstanding with your reproductive organs, with your root chakra energy, right? When is the last time you allowed your body the healing sensation of some hip rolls to let go those years of emotions, or, you know, months of emotions that have been trapped within your body? When's the last time you let somebody come over, or you bought the massage gun of the year on Amazon and let's go of stuff what's going on in your neck? Right? When's the last time you ran your hand across your body, something a little bit like this, and enjoyed it? Taurus, pleasure principle, pleasure principle. And what is stopping you from that access or that enjoyment. Even if you don't want to go out and share the box that rocks with everybody and have all the sex that your life can handle, fine. But that sexual root chakra energy is how we build lives. We build societies. We give birth to people. We build and create and make from that energy. And is it blocked for you? Or is this the full moon where you're about to sit up tall and be like, Stormie, all of this is for the world? Literally. I might not be, for the streets in the hoey way, and maybe you even are, right? Because that serves a purpose too. But if you're like, I'm for the world and I am feeling tapped in and connected, get it. And if not, allow this lunar eclipse to take these power struggles out of your way. Allow this for you to understand that in a very timely, spiritually supported way, your grief and your release are absolutely supported and will likely even be met with a sense of community, have a healer come and support you and hold you through your transition, right? Because Scorpio is the natural energy of the counselor, the one who's going to get in there and go to hell and back with you because they're not afraid. They know the way out. They're there to hold the flashlight where you're figuring your shit out, right? And they're going to hold you while you come to your transformation. So what does this look like? And it is not light. If you have got some Scorpio placements that are in some of our heavier houses, that's tough work. And the rest of us who are having like a light experience, trust me, we're holding space for you. But also, my friend, you were built this time to do that hard work. You're built, you're made for it, even if you forgot that you're made for it, right? So if you're having a hard time, put that in the comment section down below. Let us hold space, because not everybody is going to, I think, experience this particular eclipse in a way that feels as heavy as someone else. So if you're having an eclipse season, my friends out there, and you're like, I'm doing it and I'm feeling like I'm stepping into my power, hold space for our souls that are growing. Okay, hold space for some heavier weight. But I do think as well, nobody's escaping this eclipse energy anywhere on this planet. Our feet are put to the fire to get busy with understanding that we're blocking our own blessings, and we've got to shed the control stuff. So, I just feel like let me just get this little pedestal, my soapbox, and put it away for this week's weekly horoscope. You guys, it's going to be a legit week. I can't wait to see what is coming. And hopefully, please tell me you have also gone back and you have rewatched your class with Melissa LaFara on dignities and debilities, because she is coming back as our first teacher in the YouTube Academy, live question and answer, so that we can go through that particular skill and help you guys sharpen it. If you haven't checked it out, go to the community tab of this channel and you can link right into the video. Okay, so I'm going to be putting all of the updates on what's coming to the school in that community tab at this particular time. And there is some idea of growth. I'm checking out some other platforms so that we can maybe even talk a little bit more. So more to come on that, but the school is ready to roll. So we'll meet you live May 25th. Okay, so make sure you're checking that out in the community tab. If you watched this video and you haven't hit that like button, please, 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 please hit the like button. It absolutely helps this channel, helps the video to be seen, and helps us shed a message of growth and also healing, I think, with other people who maybe need to see it. So if you have not hit that like button, please do so. I love you guys a ton. I'm going to make sure in the description box down below in just a few minutes here that I put the dates and the degrees and everything you need to know about this week, as well as like a cute little thumbnail, so I'm not looking like this in the thumbnail, to get us going for the week. I look forward to seeing you guys next week live. I've been loving it live. Hopefully you're loving it too. But I will see you guys next week and on the other side of this eclipse, okay? All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, I will see you next time.